This is the AppeasedPod, the pod that aims towards appeasement. We welcome our co-host, W. Pedram.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
And I'm your host, Luke Avani. For this segment, we are welcomed with our next main guest, John. John, welcome to the pod. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm really looking forward to talking to you guys. I think it's great what you're doing, and it's definitely a new movement. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Thank you very much for those very kind words. All right, so John, what I'd like to start off with is I want to know a little bit about yourself, John.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's John. I'm the owner of Ratbastard Supply Co. We're an international lifestyle brand, and our main focus is really to kind of unlock people's potential through chasing their true passions and dreams. So we have a global community. We're in Spain, Switzerland, many different countries, the United States, domestically, and we sell skateboarding products and clothing pieces that have a unique twist to them. So it's a real pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. The pleasure's all mine. Now, what I first want to ask you, John, is what compelled you to start your endeavors? All right.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the real reason I started Ratbastard Supply Co., and I do have a team of great people that we work with to make everything possible as far as we are today, and we're growing. This is just the beginning of a huge journey ahead of us, and it's great to be a part of something like this. It's a movement of showing people that anything that you want to do in life is possible. If you stick to it, if you put the work in, and if you're consistently chasing your passion, you can turn that into your full-time career or whatever it may be that your dream is. So that's like the real reason I started, is more so just to kind of help others realize their true potential, along with myself chasing my passions and what I enjoy doing as far as building a business, supporting people, showing people that basically what I said, our roots of our brand is really chase dreams, not cheese. And I think that's kind of replicated throughout what we're doing and how we're building a community, not only domestically, but internationally, and supporting all types of people, no matter what that passion may be.
Wow, that really hit home for the question.
Actually, I had a question for you, John, which actually interested me a lot. You, as a clothing company and a lifestyle company, I wanted to ask you, like, what made you want to enter such a complex market, such as the clothing and lifestyle market? Because it's a really complex one and pretty difficult to compete. So I would like to know.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a super competitive market. As you know, there's a lot of well-established brands that already have a huge footprint. And, going into something that we call a Red Sea in marketing, in the sense of it's really hard to build that castle and to really have differentiating factors so you can kind of differentiate yourself from the competition. So I'd say one of the main reasons I selected it, I think it's more so the challenge. And also I think clothing's a perfect medium of expressing yourself and showing, what you're passionate about. So if you notice, a lot of the pieces that we create and design, we have a team of designers, like I mentioned, and we're creating stuff that's unique. It's a very unique art style. Granted, we partner with other artists that bring different flares and different angles, but kind of getting back to your root question, why did we go for this niche instead of going into something that's less competitive? I think, life is about taking those challenges. If you're going to just take that easy route, you might as well stay in the exact same route and the path that you're taking. I mean, there's definitely a lot of roadblocks that it comes to doing anything, any venture, any business. But I think if you're patient, it's like one of the big things that I emphasize, is just being patient. If you get hit, if you get knocked down at any point, just keep pushing forward. And I think this space is a great space to be a part of, just for that solid fact that you can get knocked down because you have a lot of competition. But if you keep putting in that effort, I would actually say don't focus on the competition, and more so focus on adding value to the community and adding value to the people that you support and that support you. And that will have the most long-term gains. I think the short-term gains is, if you're looking at a monetary perspective, that's not going to come for a while. And, we have a small amount of monetary success, but I think the real vision is long-term success. And that comes from not really the monetary aspect. It's more of the community and supporting people and helping them identify what they're truly passionate about, and then going ahead and having the confidence to chase those things.
No, I would say, like, I actually do admire the whole idea of Ratbastard, because I think it requires a lot of strength of will to enter such a market. So that by itself brings me to my next question, which is, within this market, what makes Ratbastard so different to other brands?
Absolutely. So that's another thing that is a huge important thing, that differentiating factor. And I think Ratbastard's unique in the sense that it's kind of it's not just a name, but I think the name holds a lot of value specifically. Just like Ratbastard, when you initially think of that, you're like, what does Ratbastard have anything to do with, chasing your passions, pursuing your dreams? putting the work. And I think Rat Bastard is kind of, if you just think of the word Rat Bastard, there's automatically a negative connotation around it, right?
Yeah.
But the whole thought we kind of wanted to have is like it's that shock factor kind of to draw people in and being like, what is Rat Bastard? What are they standing for? And what we truly stand for is, like we said, our roots, having people chase their passions, having people, step outside their comfort zone, having people doing the things that help them grow and develop. So it's really not a different thing because, there's definitely a lot of things like Nike and other brands that are doing that. But I think our emphasis is really providing, unique clothing as far as the designs, which is a differentiating factor. The way we market our stuff, a lot of positive messaging, and always, supporting others around us. And I think that's just like a moral thing to do as humans. And I think it's not necessarily unique because there's a lot of great brands that are doing that. But I think once you get to this scale point when you're, bringing millions of dollars in revenue and it's just naturally you're going to become more of a corporate company and you're going to kind of step away from those roots as far as supporting people. And you have to be a certain skill level to get sponsored or have a certain skill level to get a part of a community where you can work directly with a company that's creating stuff. So I think the community aspect is more of the thing we're focusing on as that differentiating factor. And I think that it's been replicated and it's been tried in the past and it's been utilized to a successful point, so like Nike, they have a lot of community, but I think it kind of just gets separated over the years, if that makes any sense. And I think that's one of the main things we're going to be focusing on for now and into the future is that community and having a strong group of people that support one another essentially worldwide, which is pretty cool. So
All right, so I would like to follow up on John, because John, you were mentioning how your company looks forward to really bring positivity and bring a positive message to the whole community. So, all by itself, like you gotta, I would like to put examples such as like Puma, which are companies that would take the names of animals as their name, but usually by itself, rats are usually carrying a negative connotation to themselves. So how do you take the image of an animal like a rat and you turn it into a positive image that you can transmit to the community?
yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great question, Dave. And I think that is actually kind of what we built it upon is just like that fact that in life, people face adversity, people face these roadblocks, these challenges, and typically those who pursue through that are people that have, a strong skin, are always determined, always looking for that end goal and always, doing what it takes to chase that dream or chase that thing that you're eyeing. So kind of going back to rats, if you think about rats, I guess they do have a negative connotation like we mentioned in the past, but I think if you really look past that negativity, you can see that these rats are determined to chase food, I guess. They do whatever it takes to get to that
Right.
cheese, to go, go around obstacles. They're a very resilient creature. I mean, that's why they've been able to survive as long as they have throughout history, and they have brought some negativity. And I think that negativity, such as like the bubonic plague, stuff like that, I think that's just kind of besides the point of like Rat Bastard. That's just like a fact of like what happened with them, right? But looking past that, I think there are some cool
Right.
things that rats produce, what rats bring to the table, the mentality, the mindset, the way that they're able to navigate through life and through those obstacles to get to their end goal, which in their case on a more micro level, it's more so just getting food and surviving. But in life, we are actually all on some form of journey to kind of feel a sense of accomplishment and a sense of fulfillment. And I think a lot of people face these obstacles and they hit these obstacles, and that's a roadblock in their life. And I think those obstacles are actually what you need to get to that next spot. So you have to walk through or walk over that obstacle. And I think one thing we're trying to express and in our messaging and what we do is I think go against that grain, go against the normal thing of what is an obstacle that should, based on previous events, should hold that person back, but have that actually something that encourages you to push forward and pursue whatever it may be behind that obstacle, if that makes sense. So
Absolutely. Like you were mentioning roadblocks and as you were talking, so that will bring me to another question I have, which is actually the Ratbastard being such a great company with such great image and such great message. Like, have you by any chance had a different company, whether it's big or small company, try to intimidate your company into like trying to show off what they can compete against you?
yeah, so it's actually funny you mentioned that. So with all things, you're going to face roadblocks. So right now we are going through. I'm not going to get into too much details, but we're going through a bit of a legal issue as far as like a trademark rights thing to the word Ratbastard, right? So right now we have a few registered trademarks for Ratbastard, and we own the mark, and we're utilizing it in commerce as you can see. There's another competitor that's out there, and we're kind of going through a phase, you could call it, of trying to establish, what's going on in the market. So I mean, I'm not going to get into the details, but it's definitely a roadblock that we're facing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You don't need to.
And it's something that we're working through. And I think that we have the resources, we have the people that we need to kind of push past this roadblock and continue into our future. And I think that's just another point I'd like to express is if you hit a roadblock and you have someone trying to intimidate you, or if you have someone, using their resource that they currently have, it's important to understand that if you're confident in what you're doing, and if you have faith and you have a vision and you can see, a 10-year roadmap of where you want to go to, no matter what the obstacle may look like today, I think these obstacles are put in front of us for a reason, to show that, you have the grit, you have what it takes to get past them and get to your end goal of, inspiring people, turning my personal passion of, growing a business, connecting with people, going through these roadblocks, going through the highs and lows of business, it's not an easy path. And I'm not going to make it sound like, business is for everyone, because it's not. You have to be very resilient to stick to it. But I think everything is not for everyone. If it's something worth fighting for, you have to put in that work to get to where you want to go. And I think a lot of people are discouraged by roadblocks. And I mean, I'm not going to say I never got discouraged by hitting a roadblock, but what I do is I try to keep that mindset proper and keep an eye on the long-term goal and push through it and get the resources you need and do the things you need to do, the work, the long hours, the nights, whatever it may be, where you have to put in that extra step to get to that extra goal that's not common in life. So that's some of the adversity we face as far as building the brand. And I think at the end of the day, as long as we keep the positive mindset and keep putting in the effort and doing the things that you have to do to grow a brand and grow a passion, whatever it may be, at the end of the day, I'd rather go through life, hitting these roadblocks and fighting through them, instead of hitting these roadblocks and stopping and then closing a potential door that could lead to something even bigger.
No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, if you pose a threat to the market, that means the product is good. That's just, I would just think that's like basic, like, common sense.
Yeah,
it's just, there just has to be good product.
Absolutely. And I think to even elaborate on that point as well, I think it's not always the case as well. The market will decide at the end of the day if they like your product or not. But at the starting of anything, no one's going to like anything you're doing, because it's just a natural thing of humans. I think, in a sense, people do adapt to whatever is, popular, seems to be taking traction. Because like when we started Ratbastard, there was no one that supported it. No one really liked it. They thought it was weird. I wouldn't want to label myself as a Ratbastard for the previous negative connotations associated with that. And I think a lot of people would automatically see Ratbastard like, oh, I'm never wearing that. But now those same people are actually the same people purchasing your products today, wearing the stuff and supporting your message. Because I think whenever you start something, there's always going to be a roadblock. It's going to be like the biggest roadblock to yourself, because you're going to tell yourself, oh, you're getting one like on a post, you're getting one sale every 2 months, whatever it may be when you start. And that's going to be a roadblock in your head, because you want instant gratification or instant accomplishment, which is not realistic. So you have to realize, in order to chase your dream, which we're expressing, we're also expressing the fact that you have to put in the work to get to where you want to go. It's not just a one-sided coin. You have to, play both sides and put the work in and do the grind and the stuff that a lot of people don't want to do to get to where you want to be. So
no, I like that, but that's pretty much it. There's always a struggle to be overcome. Like I do remind everyone who's tuning in right now, I would like to remind you that you can always check out Ratbastard Supply Co.com. That is ratbastardsupplyco.com, or you can also check them in their Instagram page with the same tag, so you can always be supporting the company. All right, so following up to some of that, John, actually, I believe Luke actually has some other input that he would like to add, so I'm actually gonna let him follow up to that.
Yeah, I do, in fact. Okay, so what I wanted to know is what exactly inspired you to become, what are your motives in becoming an entrepreneur, getting into this field of economics, I guess you could say?
Yeah, so I think that's another good question. I think I wouldn't really like to label myself as an entrepreneur yet. I think that term's tossed around a little bit too freely nowadays. I think everyone's an entrepreneur if they create or start something. I think
it's a very loose definition.
Yeah, I think it's a very loose definition. I think it's thrown around too carelessly, and I don't think I earned that yet. But I guess having the mindset of one, I think it's always started since a younger age. I've always been interested in, buying stuff for low, selling stuff for high. For instance, I had a sneaker resale business where I would basically buy people's shoes. I'd paint them. I'd pay like maybe say $20 for a pair of shoes. I'd paint them the next day. I'd sell them for 140 at school. So just that mindset and that ability to identify opportunity throughout my life has been something that has always just been natural to me. I don't know if it's anything I really kind of acquired from anything specifically, but I think it's just something that's always came to me. I always enjoyed that type of hustle. Buying
Yeah.
low, selling high, starting eBay stuff, whatever it may be to get a little bit of extra money. And it's not really even the money. It's because I never really had a problem with money. I think it's more so just the process that I enjoy. I enjoy that high that you get. It's like a dopamine high when you sell something. It's like one of the best feelings. Or if it's like something you acquire, right? So I think it's like I said earlier, it's not for everyone, but for me, that's something I was always passionate about, just the process of it.
What?
So and then also like I guess my education, I went to school for like finance and marketing, which is also business related. So that's kind of helped me develop some skills and the interpersonal skills, the connections, and being able to network and identify opportunity even better after having that knowledge. So I think that answers that question. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, that actually that answered my question perfectly. All right, now my last question I think for the pod, because I feel like we've hit our 30-minute mark. Well, we're close to it, but I'll ask this question, but I think W should take it over. But pretty much what I want to ask you is so Ratbastard has a niche, right? And one of those niches is skateboarding. Can you explain why it's skateboarding and like parkour, if I am correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it's parkour and skateboarding. That's the two niches that we currently target. And I think the real reason we started with those, and we plan on branching out, and we are actively branching out into different niches and different areas of passion. I think it's just because the skateboard community and the parkour community naturally has a sense of camaraderie, and there's always people that are very passionate about it. It's like something that's super passionate. If you're into skateboarding, you're super passionate about it. If you're into parkour, you're super passionate about it. And I think that really goes to everything, right? But I saw the community. I saw the brands that were able to be built around these communities, parkour and skating. So I knew that would be a great market, especially pushing the positive message. And, you always fail. Every time you're doing parkour, every time you're skating, every time you're learning and acquiring skills, you're constantly failing. So I think the messaging, the product, the name really stuck with that group. And I think it's proven to be sticking with that group really nicely. And I think we're going to continue. I know we're going to continue to support those two niches and definitely branch out into others and other sports, other entrepreneurs, other people that are just pursuing whatever it may be that they're passionate about, singing, music. There's so many things that you can go down. It's a really transferable thing, but that's just the main reason. We just identified an opportunity in the market and we went ahead and created products that spoke to them, and it's been working thus far. So
W, do you want to touch anything about that, or?
My part, that will wrap up all of what I would like to say.
Okay. So that's it for you, W?
That's it for me.
All right. Well, yeah. So John, before we exit, thank you for being such a great guest and answering questions to your fullest potential. All right. One last thing is, do you have any closing remarks that you'd like to state before you sign off?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing I kind of want to emphasize is thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
Yeah,
I know this
pleasure.
is like the early phases of it, but I think you guys should definitely stick at it and keep putting in the work and looking for the long-term vision. Keep creating the podcast consistently and get different guests down here. I think what you guys are doing is great and has a lot of potential. And anyone out there that has a passion, a dream, an idea, go out there and chase it. Put the work in. It's not going to be easy. Definitely a lot of obstacles, but I think if you are consistent and if you put the work that maps your goal, I think anything's possible. And I appreciate you guys having me. So thanks again.
Well, thank you very much. All right.
John, one last thing to everyone that came today. Thank you very much again. One final remark. I would like to restate that RatbastardSupplyCo.com is the website for John's company where you can find all of his products. And you can also find them on Facebook and Instagram at the same tag. That is RatbastardSupplyCo.com.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Chase dreams, not cheese. It's been a pleasure.
You have a wonderful one.
Thanks for listening. This has been the AppeasedPod.